What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is navigating mental health during the holidays, and my co-host for this episode is
Andy from the Chess After Show, Live, the UK, etc., etc.
Thank you for joining me for this episode. And of course, I have all my guests select the topics, and this one's pretty solid. We talk on mental health a couple different times. I like to talk about it because I feel like just in general, we don't talk about it enough. But, navigating mental health during the holidays, it's an interesting and tricky thing to do because sometimes you just want to cocoon up and disappear because sometimes the holiday time is family time. Thanksgiving, Christmas, specific holidays like that, and it's just like, damn, it's the end of the year now. You kind of reconnect with your family and just reminisce about the year, just talk. And that's kind of it. And like I feel like in most cases people feel pressured to come off perfect when life is just imperfect in general. So it's like you don't have to fake joy, you don't have to fake happiness. I mean, if you're in pain, you're in pain. It is what it is. That's how you feel. And you should don't fake the funk. If you need to isolate. And for a lot of people going through stuff, like me personally, it's like I do hate and love these holidays, but at the same time, like I miss my family members that I've lost and my friends that I've lost, and it's like, damn. And now I'm in my head just overthinking, the storyline and missing them and things of that nature. There's a lot of things you can do for your mental health, but let's start off with just navigating it, like navigating the mental health during this season. Andy?
I mean, we only have Christmas. For you guys, us over on the other side of the pond, you have quite a lot of holidays close together as well. So you've got Thanksgiving just happened as we talk. Then you go sort of straight into the festive season. You're having to spend a lot more time with people from work as well. Outside of the office. The Christmas parties, as we all know. And then you go into the whole family side of things as well. And it's like it's great to see family. But I don't know how you feel, Kev, but it's almost like it's a bit extra having to see family at this time of year because, you've got the whole pressure of you've got to get them something to eat, like gifts. You've got a big meal that you may not necessarily have. You might generally just sort of pop over for a couple of hours and see how they are. And I feel like it can be overwhelming for a lot of people at this time of year especially. I mean, I'm glad that we're bringing this topic up now because it's actually something quite close to me. Last year we had a lad from work. It was only a young lad, early 20s. Nice enough guy. Wouldn't have had any idea that anything was going on with him. And I believe it was the 23rd of December last year. Sadly, he took his own life. Now, he was from Ireland, whether he'd gone back to see his family, whether maybe he found that overwhelming. We'll never know the reasonings behind why what happened at the end of the day. There's only one person that can tell us, and sadly he's no longer here. And it's also one of those things as well, it's sort of like, we all sort of said, oh yeah, have a great Christmas, see you before, and then you find out this has happened, and it's like, if I'd have known, maybe I could have had a chat with him and hopefully brought him back from that dark place, make him realise, not just me, but other people in general, no one had a clue. It blindsided us coming back after, because our company closes over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
So we finish on Christmas Eve and we won't go back until at least the 2nd of January. Depending on where it falls to this year, we're actually off until the 5th, so we've got an extra few days off than we normally would have had anyway. And I'm just sort of rambling at the moment, aren't I? But yeah, it is tough to talk about. It's a lot of people. There is still a stigma behind it. There's a lot more talk about mental health at the moment these days.
Yeah.
it is becoming a lot more apparent. You do still get the people that don't understand it from older generations, and they just think you're just being miserable. They don't understand that there could be something much deeper.
You never know what someone is going through. So, your little hello in the morning, or goodbye at night, or just checking up on somebody, and that's kind of what I do with a lot of my friends. Like, even though I don't, sometimes you don't hear from friends often. It's like, hey, just wanted to check on you, make sure everything is good. Okay, and that gives you that reassurance. Additionally, even in the workplace, like, okay, your coworker died. It's like, what did your job do to like make you guys feel better? Like, did they do anything? Like, offer some type of services, give you guys some time off for grief counseling? What, like, did they do anything?
No, so our company, it could have been handled a lot better. As funny enough, we were talking about this the other day with a couple of guys, and we said really it should have been sort of a case of, you've gone back into an office. There's about 20, 30 people in this office. You're going to notice someone's not there. At the end of the day, there's an empty desk. And I actually found out from someone who'd been speaking to someone else in the factory. Our manager should have pulled everyone aside and said, look guys, sadly this is what's happened. Obviously, if anyone needs to talk, there's support here for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't done like that at all. I literally found out third hand, and then had to message one of the guys that was a bit closer to this lad and say, look mate, is this true? And it's handling things in the right way as well, because that could have a detrimental effect on someone else's mental health if they find out in ways like that. It's the company that I work for. They always say that they're dealing with mental health issues, but they're not dealing with them. If that makes sense. They've got mental health first aiders in place now, which is great for people that need it. But a lot of the time, you don't want to speak to someone at your company as well, because office gossip can happen. I'm not saying that these people would do it, but office gossip can happen. And then they could be like, oh, this person's got this going on. And then you're like, well, why are you discussing... And that can, again, snowball as well.
Mm-hmm. So my job, one of my coworkers died in August, 55 years old. He died on vacation. It's like... the most randomest thing like happened, and it's like they didn't go into details about how he died. They just he died on vacation with his family. And so my job literally they were letting us know he's been with the company for a couple he's been with the company essentially since they started, so it's like everybody kind of dealt with him in one way or another. And so like my company, they had mentioned it, they sent out an email, then they had a town hall, kind of my departmental town hall. My CTO brought it up again, like, let's have a moment of silence. So if you need help, please, contact our services, because we have an outside service that the company pays for therapy sessions and stuff like that. So we get I think we get like 16 to 20 free therapy sessions a year.
Yeah.
So you could always sign up for it, and it's paid for by the company. So it's like, oh, okay, thanks. So it's like they mentioned it, they said something, they gave us, a way to like, hey, if you need to take off a couple days, go ahead and do it. If you need anything, let us know. It's just like now it's just weird. It feels weird because again, it's been since August. We're now November, and like essentially I'm doing some of the work that he used to do, and it just feels weird doing that. It's like, and people are just like, oh, I used to talk to this person, and like I know he's no longer with us, and it's like, damn, yeah, like I picked up some of his tasks, and I still have, like, I had to get his equipment back, so it's like, damn, I still have his equipment that I didn't even wipe yet. It's like it's just sitting there because it feels weird. Shit feels weird. I don't do well with death. I don't like it at all, and I like in my mind it takes me a minute to be like, oh, this person's really gone. This person's really out of here. Like, I know they're gone, but it's like, damn, when it hits me. It's like, fuck, this person is not here. Yeah. And it's like, some people could take it and be like, okay, this person's not here, and it's like, they have their emotions and all. Other people can't. But once they hear, oh my God, they start bawling. It's like, I had a coworker that did did just that. She was just so confused, like at a loss for words. Like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy when people just suddenly they're gone, and it's just how do you move forward from that? It's hard. You can't. It takes time, and you got to get out of your own head and and push forward. But thank God my job has something for that. A lot of people's jobs don't have anything. Just like you said, your job kind of has something, but they kind of didn't.
Yeah, this is it. It always feels like, because it's only become more and more spoken about it within the last few years. I do feel like as well, COVID had a big impact on that as well, getting more people to talk about their mental health, because we were all in this situation where the only way we could talk to each other was on. It's almost like, because it was online and not face to face, people felt more comfortable starting to openly discuss it. But
it's definitely a different interaction when you talk to somebody online or FaceTime, video calls versus like actually physically being in person with them.
yeah, this is it. And I mean, everyone had their different thing. A lot of people were working from home throughout the COVID period. We still had to go in, and even though I was seeing people, that constant sort of fear of something happening, because we didn't know what was happening in the early days. You heard was people were dying the front and centre, and you've got that fear of, am I going to bring this home to my family? And that, and it did actually result in me going through what we call CBT over here. I can't remember what it actually stands for. I'll Google it so I can tell people. But it was like, because of the anxiety around it, I did actually have my mental health issues myself came to the forefront, and I had to deal with them online. Cognitive behavioural therapy, that's what it's called.
Okay.
And I mean, that was over the phone as well, which actually I think was a bit easier for myself to actually start opening up to about these things to someone completely independent, and that was free through the NHS over in the UK. And that's the other thing as well, is sort of access to these services. I'm sure over in the States you'd have to pay someone for that, whereas we can get this through the NHS, certain types of therapies through the National Health Service in the UK, so it's free at the point of access.
Yeah, everything is paid for services over here in most cases. Yeah. That's your job provides it, but I mean, talking to a therapist or somebody online, I mean, it definitely is different. I had a therapist that I would go see and sit down in the room with, and it's like, that's cool, but at the same time, I like my therapist that I currently have, that I could just be like, set up an appointment, we do a video call. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
It just sits better with me for some reason, but grief and loss, it's something hard to deal with during the holidays. I feel like all your feelings and emotions are amplified during the holiday. So it's like, you notice if, like you said, you'll notice if there's somebody not in a specific chair, that chair is empty. And that applies to anything. Like, okay, this chair that used to be filled by a family member, a friend, a coworker, it's empty. And it's like, damn.
Yeah,
we really lost that person.
We've had a similar thing within the last couple of years with my wife's family. I won't go into the details of it, but it was sort of like, you notice the effect that the time of year has with that person no longer with us, and just across the whole family, really. It's sort of like, you notice that person's not there. My grandparents passed away many years ago, so over the time we've sort of come to accept it. It still feels weird, but it's easier because you've had time to heal, whereas when it's still fresh as well, that can have a much bigger impact on what's going on, and how you feel about everything, and it can affect people in the holidays. It is surprising how much can affect people, that feeling of they're not here anymore, and almost like when you think about people who may have lost everyone close to them, that loneliness, especially in older people who would be maybe sitting there with no family to visit them, just on their own throughout the entire holiday period. And something that some friends of my parents actually used to run for years and years and years. I believe they've stopped it now, but it was a charitable thing called Christmas Alone, completely self-funded or through charities. And basically what it was to keep, for the older generations who may have no one coming to visit them over Christmas, they organised people around to give up part of their Christmas day to go over, make them a meal, a full Christmas meal. They'd have a little hamper, there'd be musical performances and like things like that. You know, it was got them out of the house, and they were actually with other people for Christmas. And sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah. It's just that little sort of hand extended to say, look, you're not on your own here. There are people around who do care.
Yeah, it's just having, not being alone during those specific times. I mean, you can still feel the loneliness even when you're around those people, but at the same time, it's like, at least you're with people.
Yeah.
At least you're with people that care, that have your best interests at heart. And it's just, you know, when you're in a space by yourself, again, you start to overthink, especially in this time when it's like, you know, the holidays, again, you know, especially in the U.S., like, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, it's just like, damn, yeah. I really don't got these people around me. I'm just, and you know, you try to fill that void with your other friends and family, and it's like, it's still an empty pot that's just sitting there. And again, grieving can continue for years, and you know, you never stop grieving. You just, you know, just continues to happen. Being that, you know, in the workplace and at home, hopefully, if you have access to mental health resource, you're able to utilize them. But for those places, you know, for the workplaces that you don't have access to, maybe that's a discussion that you bring up. Hey, how do we focus on mental wellness? Like, what do we do? Because like you said, during COVID, a lot of companies switched focus and added like a therapist to like a a lot of companies added a mental like health thing on their healthcare stuff. So like, hey, you could go see a therapist for, you know, an X amount, or it'd be free. And it's like, okay, that's solid. So again, some places don't have that. They don't give, a lot of places don't even give you the opportunity to grieve and, you know, take a step back. Like the two law firms I worked at, when my sister died, my dad died, it was like, okay, Kevin, you got like a day and you got to come back to work. It's like, bitch, no, fuck yeah. Like, are you can't be serious. And it's like, those two jobs definitely quit. I quit within like a month later, but it's just like, oh no, I'm going through shit right now. Y'all got to respect me going through this shit right now. So it's like, again, I feel like during COVID, everybody switched gears and was like, okay, we really need to focus on our mental health. Because a happy employee, they'll stay there forever. If they're miserable, listen, they're clocking out. If they going through shit, they're clocking the fuck out, disconnecting from everything. And, you know, especially because it disrupts their routine from, you know, their sleep schedule, how they eat, how they exercise. You know, those negative things impact their stability needed to maintain their mental health in general. So if that's disrupted, if their routine is disrupted, listen, I don't know what type of person you're gonna get. Again, like your colleague that killed himself. Maybe he was going through stuff and he didn't have anybody to talk to, and it just happened.
The thing is, as well, there are charities around. You know, you can you've got, say, for example, the UK Samaritans. They're around 24/7, and they're there, especially like they talk to people. You know, they're there to talk to people who are feeling like everything's too much and maybe thinking of taking a thing. You know, there's statistic here on their website. I'm looking at it now. Every 90 minutes in the UK, someone dies by suicide. But talking can save it. Yeah. Talking saves lives, as they say on there. You know, it is one of those things that sadly, you know, you're not going to be able to help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
especially sort of, you know, some people, once they've got to that point and they're committed, and sadly you're not going to talk them around, but maybe that conversation could help. You know, as I said, if we'd have known what this lad from work was going through, maybe he'd still be here today. You could have had a conversation, just sort of reaching out that hand and sort of going, mate, is everything all right?
Yeah, again, like sometimes people just need someone to vent to, and that's really helpful. Like, I mean, even, you know, playing video games, you get to meet a lot of people, and I've had situations where people just like vented to me, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm here. I'm an open ear. Go ahead, just let it all out. And sometimes that's all people really need. They just need somebody to vent to. Again, like, yes, go see a therapist, go seek that. But some cases, people can't afford a therapist. They can't get a therapist. And it's like, damn, I just need somebody to talk to that just will just listen. Don't need a response. Just need somebody to listen.
Yeah, this is it.
And, you know, again, during the holidays, like after the holidays, it's like, damn, you get in a mood where it's like, damn, like another year going through holidays without the people most important to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sucks.
This is it. You know, it's one thing where there's an online community through the airsofters, which is how we know each other, in the UK, called Man Down, and it's just a sort of place to talk to each other and vent to each other. You say, you know, you can have those conversations and just sort of get everything off your chest and meet people that maybe going through similar things, and you can find ways to cope, and even just, as you say, having that conversation, that can be enough.
Mm-hmm,
you know.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I feel like let's talk about coping with it. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to cope with it. It's you know, it's just happened. It's like, what can you do for self-care and create boundaries for yourself? It's like, it's okay to say no when people invite you to, you know, festive gatherings, and because it'll make you, you know, it gives you it triggers you. It triggers you because you don't those things are not around. Like, you can say no. Hey, you don't gotta go to that office party because that person is missing, or you don't gotta go to a family gathering because this person. Listen, you could say no. It's okay, or you know, or you could just do a quick pop in, do your greetings, and dip out. No one says you have to stay there. It's not a requirement. Because again, if it triggers you, there's no reason to stay here. Like, set some real expectations. This is
part of the thing as well. I feel like there is just too much pressure to conform to what others want Christmas to be, or Thanksgiving to be, or what insert other festival here, another holiday here. You know, people have ideas of how they want you to conform, but as you say, it is okay to just say, no, I can't do it. Mentally, I'm not there. I'm going through some stuff. You don't have to go into details. Just if you tell your family, look, I'm going through some stuff. I need some time for myself. But a lot of the time, they'll understand.
Yep. No, I mean, and that's really it. Sometimes you're not obligated to tell anybody anything. You can just just disappear. Take a step back. If somebody, hey, yo, I haven't heard from you in a while. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, this is it.
Keep it moving. You're not obligated to tell anybody anything, and you shouldn't be looking for, like, you know, a lot of people are looking for that perfect holiday, like you said, like it's the Christmas thing. We're going for that perfect Christmas or perfect New Year's. No, you don't. Again, you don't need perfection for anything. It's like set realistic expectations for yourself, and you know, sometimes you have to plan for those difficult moments. You know. For coping, I think, you know, some people have a way that they cope when someone dies or they lose someone, and they go through that. They just go through that plan that they have created for themselves. I mean, some people have it. I personally don't like to think that way. I'd rather think that everybody's gonna be around forever. Personally, everybody's around forever. That's it. And it does kind of fuck your whole shit up. But I don't want to think negatively. Like, hey, I'm going to lose this person. Like, my cat Waffles, that motherfucker 13. I know I'm going to lose him soon. But I continue to think positively because he gonna be around forever. I've had
Yeah.
him since he was a baby, so it's like he's been part of my life. Granted, he's moving slower, and it's like you could tell he just sleeps all day. It's like damn, he getting up there in age. So it's like, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, he's gonna die tomorrow. No, he's gonna live forever.
You got to make the
My cat's
most
gonna
of the
live
time
forever.
you've got.
That's it. Correct. And that's it. And the same thing goes with, when my grandmother passed away, it was just like one of those things like, nah, she's going to be around forever. She's going to be around forever. And then when she finally did pass, it was like, damn, at least I got to spend so much time
This
with
is
her.
it as well, it's making the most of the time, You don't know how long people are going to be around for, so as long as you're up to it, you make the most of that time. Obviously, you're not always going to feel like it. And there are going to be times, as we sort of said earlier, with your mental health, you're going to need some time on your own, but what you can, just make the most of the time you have with people. Because that will help in the long term as well, I personally think, is you can remember the good times rather than, as you say, regret it and go, I wish I'd spent more time with this person, I wish I'd spent more time with that person.
Word. It's, it's okay to have mixed emotions, mixed feelings. Go ahead and cry, let it out. People always tend to judge men when they have their emotions and willing to share it. It's supposed to it's weird because like when men share their emotion, men can't win. So when we do share our emotions, we're emotionally unavailable. When we don't share our emotions, we're emotionally unavailable. It's like pick one. Or it's like, hey, when you do share your emotion, you're a bitch. If you share your emotions, why are you crying? Mention cry. Like, bitch, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. There's a bunch of stigmas for men and emotions. Leave this shit out of it. Like, I'm going through shit. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, I cried in front of friends. I don't give a fuck. I cried around people, like, because sometimes shit, again, you start to overthink certain things during the holidays, and it's like a wave of emotions hits you. You're just like, fuck. Fuck, I need a moment. Let me just go, sit over here and just cry.
Especially with the alcohol
with
flowing at those times as well. That's not going to be helping,
Oh, yeah.
You crack open the best bottle of whiskey or whatever and you get a few into there, but then all of a sudden everything can take over.
All the emotions. all
like
the emotions start happening. That's why, word, that's why, always be around people you trust, people that love you, and it's like, don't stress. Set realistic expectations for how you should be feeling and what you should be going through and things like that. But as we come to the end of this episode, what do you want to leave people with in regards to navigating mental health during the holidays?
If you feel like it's getting too much, just speak to someone. It doesn't have to be someone in that immediate scenario. It can be anyone at the end of the day. Just speak to someone. If you feel like it's getting too much, don't let it overwhelm you, because there's no coming back if you do let it go too far. And you only get one life, so make the most of it and enjoy it. Yeah, feel sad, feel all your emotions, as we just said. You can't help that. Just do it, and always try and find a positive. And yeah, just reach out. If it is too much, just reach out. I'm sure there's charities in the US as well as like the Samaritans I mentioned earlier. Yep. There are people there that will be there to listen to you regardless. And speaking can help. Speaking saves lives.
Yeah. So talking to the right people, or if you see a friend going through something, hey, how you doing? Do you want to talk about stuff? Do you want to hang out? Like, those little things really help people out, because again, sometimes people just feel lonely. They feel like they can't share any information with others, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna keep this bottled in. Keeping shit bottled in, that's when things tend to explode.
And it's always harder if it's someone in the scenario as well, someone in the same situation as you, say at a family event, and you get overwhelmed and it all becomes too much. Speaking to someone outside of that situation is probably better than taking it out with someone who's there.
Agreed. 100% agree with that. But that's it for this episode, guys. You can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev, and my website, randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.